Welcome to Becoming American, Staying You. I'm Jessica, and I'm here to help you prepare for the U.S. citizenship test without leaving your story behind. In today's episode, we'll dive into how Congress is structured, how long senators and representatives serve, and what the president's cabinet does. These details are essential to passing the test, but they're also key to understanding how America's government works. All right, let's first start with our past episode review. Remember, in every episode, we will review all of the questions, then talk about today's new questions, give them some context, and then review everything again. And remember, stick with the podcast as long as you need to get your practice in for the day. That's the great thing about these. You can pause, you can rewind, you can come back. Do what works for you. All right, from episode 1, we have the following questions, and I will give the answers right away. At the end of the episode, I'll pause for you to answer, but feel free to talk along with me. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. What does the Constitution do? It sets up our government. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? We, the people. What is an amendment? An amendment is a change to the wording in the Constitution. And what do we call the first 10 amendments of the Constitution? That's our Bill of Rights. Excellent. Episode 2, we talked about the First Amendment and the rights and freedoms and responsibilities that come along with it. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom to peacefully assemble, and the freedom to petition your government. Very good. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. All citizens over the age of 18 can vote. Very good. One responsibility that is only for U.S. citizens. Jury duty. And voting, which is also one of the rights that you can name that is a right only for U.S. citizens, voting and running for office. Excellent. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? Excellent. Voting. That's just such a good answer, right? Just remember that one for like 3 different questions. Voting, running for office, helping with a campaign, advocating for issues that are important to you. Excellent work, everybody. Episode 3, our branches of government. Name one branch or part of the government. We have the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. Very good. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? Checks and balances and separation of power. Who is in charge of the executive branch? That's the president. Good. Who makes the laws? Good. That's legislative branch. Okay. The legislative branch makes the laws, and there are 2 parts of the U.S. Congress that is our legislative branch. The 2 parts of Congress are the House of Representatives and the Senate. Excellent. Good job, everybody. Today, we're talking about how many senators there are, how many representatives are in the House, and the president's cabinet. And the answers today are pretty straightforward, but then there's a couple places where I'm going to help you look at how to search for particular information that you're going to have to look up a little bit on your own today. All right. Today's questions, and because those are kind of basic, there's a lot of questions today, but they're going to be fast and easy. How many U.S. senators are there? We elect a senator for how many years? Who is one of your U.S. senators now? The House of Representatives has how many voting members? And we elect those representatives for how many years? Number 6 is name your U.S. representative. Then we'll move to what does the president's cabinet do? And what are 2 of the cabinet level positions? All right, let's get after it. How many U.S. senators are there? There are 100 senators. There are 2 from each state. We have 50 states, so we have 100 senators. And we elect a senator for how long? The 100 senators each get to serve for 6 years. Okay, so they're up there for a long time. Choose carefully. Who is one of your senators now? Right, you might catch that by listening to the local news, but we will also go to senate.gov in just a minute, and we'll go together and I'll show you how to find that out. The U.S. House of Representatives has how many members? 435. Okay. We elect those representatives for how many years? 2. Okay? They get to be up there for 2 years and then they have to get reelected. So they stay in touch with their constituents because they want to know what their communities want, so they will get reelected. Okay? All right, name your U.S. representatives. Again, we will go and look that up together, but the website for that is house.gov. What does the president's cabinet do? The cabinet gives advice to the president. We'll talk about that later. There's a little picture, right? I think they need snacks. Doesn't it look like they need snacks? Anyway. All right. What are 2 cabinet level positions? There's a lot to choose from here. I will list them off, but I would suggest picking ones that relate to things that are important to you. Maybe your job, maybe one of your family members' jobs, maybe something in your background, in your history, that it just will help you connect and remember. All right. Most of these guys are called Secretary of something. Okay. So we have the Secretary of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense. Currently, we have the Secretary of Education. If you're watching this after 2025, double check that. The Secretary of Energy, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing and Urban Development, the Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Labor, the Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, Treasury, Veterans Affairs, and then we have the Attorney General and the Vice President. All of those people are subject matter experts for whatever, well, hopefully, for whatever they are appointed to, and they advise the president on all sorts of issues. All right, let's take a look and find out which 2 senators belong to your state. Remember, there's 100 senators altogether. 2 of them are from your state. All right, so here we are on senate.gov, senate.gov. All right, so once you get here, you can, really, there's a lot of really neat information in here. But we're going to get straight to finding out who our senators are. So I'm hovered over senators and then contact your senators. And then I'm just going to go to a state and click it. Let's go to, we'll stay in alphabetical order. Alabama. There we go. Say, I'm curious about a different one. You just over here, choose a state, click it, and there we go. Just that easy. We can also possibly be asked about who is your representative in the House of Representatives. Now, the House of Representatives has 435 voting members. Now, those 435 seats in the room get divided between each state based on the state's population. So this is why it's really important, or one of many reasons really, why it's really important to respond to your census every few years when they come around and ask you how many people are living in your household. Those censuses, I know it feels a little bit like nosy, or intrusive sometimes, depending on what you're used to. But here we use that information to determine how many representatives our states get. So it's really important to reply to that data. It also helps with funding and services and a lot of other things. So every time that census comes around, don't be afraid to respond to it. It's really important to share. So let's take a look at the house.gov link and see what happens. We are on the House of Representatives website. And what are we going to do? I'm just going to start here. Nothing wrong with scrolling around. You can learn all kinds of great stuff from these websites. All right. Oh, and this one's just straight up right here. So you're going to find your state. Okay, I clicked on the Representatives tab at the top of the page, and then coming down, click on your state by alphabetical order. Let's go to T. I bet we'll find some great stuff here. So Tennessee, let's look at that. We've got 9 different sections or districts in Tennessee, and the representative for each district is listed right next to it. Okay. It also tells you their phone numbers and their office. If you happen to just show up at the Capitol and you'd like to meet with somebody, you can go knock on their door and see if they have time to talk to you that day. Highly recommend making an appointment, though, which you can do by calling them. You can also call and leave a message for your representative to tell them if you're happy with what they're doing or if there's an issue that they might need to be made aware of. And here it also tells you what committees they are assigned to. It's just that easy to find your information. No gatekeeping around here. Okay, so your test is going to possibly ask you who is one of your U.S. senators now, or name your U.S. representative. So double check those based on where you live. So in the House of Representatives, it looks like you need to know what district you're in, but you can Google what is my district for House of Representatives, and it will take you to a website where you can type in your zip code or your address, and it'll tell you the name of your person as well. So that might be another easy way to do it. We already talked about the president's cabinet a little bit, but I'm going to go back and read those titles to you again more slowly. And I want you to pick 2 that are important to you or that relate to you somehow. And I will stand by my previous comment that I think these guys need snacks at the table. I mean, they're making decisions for our country. They need to be well fed. Okay, some of the cabinet level positions: agriculture, like farms; commerce, all the business; defense, okay, taking care of our military; education, for now, that position may go away; the Secretary of Energy, taking care of our grid; okay, Health and Human Services; Homeland Security; Housing and Urban Development; the Secretary of the Interior; the Secretary of Labor; the Secretary of State or Transportation; the Treasury; the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. We also have the Attorney General and the Vice President. All right, that's all the new information for today. Let's go back and we're going to do our pause review, where I will read you the questions from previous episodes and give you some time to answer before I fill you in on the answers I would choose. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. What does the Constitution do? It sets up our government. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? We the people. What is an amendment? A change to the Constitution. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? The Bill of Rights. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Speech. Okay. Press, religion. I feel bad not listing them all, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom to peacefully assemble, and the right to petition your government. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. All citizens over the age of 18 can vote. Very good. What is one responsibility for all U.S. citizens? Jury duty. Name one right for U.S. citizens. Voting, running for office. Very good. You could also say a responsibility is voting. Okay? Voting is both a right and a privilege and a responsibility. So many things. Okay, what are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? Voting, running for an election, helping with a campaign, advocating for important issues. Very good. All right, episode 3, test questions. Name one branch or part of the government. The legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Very good. The legislative also has Congress, president is in the executive, and the courts are in the judicial. Very good. All of those answers count. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? Checks and balances and the separation of power. Okay. Who is in charge of the executive branch? The president. Who makes federal laws? The legislative branch, which is made up of Congress. Okay. And what are the 2 parts of Congress? The Senate and the House of Representatives. Excellent. You have learned so much. All right, episode 4, here's today's questions back at you. Okay, how many U.S. senators are there? 100. Very good. And we elect those senators for how long? 6 years. Very good. Choose carefully. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators right now? That person you looked up on senate.gov. Good job. All right. Did you write them a letter yet? You should write them a letter. You should let them know your test date. I bet they would come and clap for you. All right. If they're available, right? The House of Representatives has how many voting members? 435. Very good. We elect U.S. representatives for how many years? 2. Name your U.S. representative. Remember, you may have had to Google your district. That's who you found out. Good job. All right, what does the president's cabinet do? They give advice to the president. And what are 2 cabinet level positions? Awesome. I'm going to go with Attorney General and Vice President. Okay, my friends, that's it for today's episode of Becoming America, Staying You. If you would like to share this episode, you are more than welcome to. If you are the only person that ever sees this, I'm so glad you found it and I really hope it's helpful. I think if you hit that like button, it might help. If you think somebody else in the world might benefit from it, but nobody you know, then hit the like button and then maybe somebody else will see it. Who knows? Here we go, my friends. You know how it goes. Pass the test, but keep your roots. Make a better America. See you next time. Hey everybody. The questions and answers in this episode come directly from the official U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the USCIS Civics Test Study Materials. We've done our best to present them accurately and in context. This podcast is for educational practice purposes only. If you have a specific legal question or unique circumstances about your citizenship application, it's a good idea to seek guidance from a qualified immigration attorney or accredited representative. Your journey is important. Make sure you have the right support every step of the way.